All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight for this wonderful topic. I have another great topic here to discuss with you folks tonight that will tremendously help you. If you are here live, it is Friday, July 8th, 2022. But if you're here on the replay, don't go anywhere. My content has tremendous evergreen value, so you didn't miss much on the live. And if you're here on the replay, feel free to comment in the comment section, and I'll respond to you within 24 hours or less usually. If you're here live, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat, and I will get back to you in between the show. But before we get to this great topic, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. Looks like the back end of YouTube is rolling smoothly, and the notification has gone out. All right, let's get right to it because there's a lot to go over, and I want to keep this to 2 hours or less. Let's get to the topic here. The topic of tonight's show is how the modern world affects our physical and mental health. One more time. How the modern world affects our physical and mental health. Well, let's get right to it. We're going to switch on over to the browser screen and go over this very well-written blog that I came across. And the topic of this, well, first of all, this is from the website Medical News Today. And the topic is how modern life affects our physical and mental health. One more time, how modern life affects our physical and mental health. Now, I just want to make sure the audio sounds okay. The topic of tonight's show is... Okay, we're good. Just had to check that real quick. This blog was written by Hannah Nichols on July 3rd, 2017. So we're looking at about 5 years ago, right about the time shortly after I started my full-time YouTube journey. And this definitely holds true today, probably holds more true today than it even did in 2017. So lots of value here in this blog, so stick around for it. Let's dive into it. Modern day living is a multifaceted compendium of evolving technology and social media. Okay, already jumbling my words. I'm so excited. You can say that again. The modern day living is a multifaceted compendium of evolving technology and social media. Communication outlets are changing every part of our lives so rapidly that it can be tough to adjust. I think when I did my Walking with Purpose stream earlier, it took a lot out of me. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little tired, but I really wanted to get this show in tonight. So don't mind me if I jumble my words a bit through this one. Are technology and media affecting our physical and mental health? ? I'm going to come out and say absolutely 1,000,000% yes, no doubt about it. And there are many reasons. I could share those reasons right now, but I'll share them along the way because there's just so much written here that's very well written. Let's scroll down a bit. Technology has improved the lives of many people, with almost half of adults in the United States unable to imagine life without their smartphone. Yeah, this thing right here, right? Don't get me wrong. Having smartphones have made things a lot easier, and I personally feel it's a great tool to have. But you got to know when to use it and when to put it down so you can enjoy the task at hand that you used the smartphone to create or to set up, right? People will use the smartphone to make plans, and then they get to their plans, and then they're back on their smartphone. You got to know when to use it and when to set it down. Bottom line. The American Psychological Association Stress in America Survey 2017 shows that 99% of adults own an electronic device. Around 86% own a computer, which I'm one of them. I still feel you need to have a computer even in this modern world of smartphones and mobile devices. Mobile devices can only take you so far. If you really want to be able to create things in an easier way, you've got to have a pretty powerful laptop or desktop, okay? 74% own a smartphone and 55% own a tablet. The survey also reports that between 2005 and 2015, the percentage of adults using social media skyrocketed from 7% to 65%. That is staggering. Now remember, this is 5 years old. These numbers have increased a lot since that time, okay? With usage rates of young adults aged between 18 and 29 increasing from 12% to 90% in that period. That's practically everyone, just about. That is staggering. And remember, this blog is 5 years old. That's what it was 5 years ago. And if you don't think it's gone up tremendously more in the last 5 years, then you're out of your mind. Rates of technology and social media use are therefore swiftly climbing. That's why they're very profitable. Lots of advertisements. Yeah. Whoever created social media, geniuses. Facebook and Instagram alone boast a combined monthly user base of 2 billion people. Well, it's closer to about 2.5 billion now, going up about 500 million in the last 5 years since this blog was written. Recent research by the Associated Press, NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, found that teenagers aged 13 to 17 years old have shifted their preferred social media platforms and are now most likely to use Snapchat and Instagram. Yeah, and that's because Snapchat, I believe, has the snap streak, meaning that, if you communicate with whoever you're connected with at least once per day, it keeps your streak going. And yeah, Snapchat and Instagram, very big. Facebook, very big. The platform I'm on, YouTube, very big. Yeah, Twitter, it's just, wow. It's just insane what's happened on social media and how big these companies have become. Let's see, give me just 1 second here. Let's see. Hey, Pablo, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. Key findings of the survey included the fact that around 76% of teenagers use Instagram, 75% use Snapchat, 66% use Facebook, 47% use Twitter, and fewer than 30% use Tumblr, Twitch, or LinkedIn. I think in the last 5 years, those numbers for Twitter at least, and LinkedIn and Twitch have gone up. I don't know about Tumblr, but Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn have, skyrocketed. LinkedIn has become more of a social platform than just a business platform. And the organic reach on LinkedIn has been pretty good over the last several years. So that's changed in the last 5 years. So the only one that this would probably still make sense regarding this day 5 years later since the blog was written is Tumblr. Probably has low usage. They also found that although 91% of teens who regular text, excuse me. They also found that although 91% of teens use regular text messaging, 40% also use messaging apps such as WhatsApp, Kik, or Line. Yeah, WhatsApp has been pretty popular. Same with Kik. Never heard of Line, but it's probably like WhatsApp or Kik. And while, WhatsApp and Kik, I know at least are still around, they don't seem to be as popular as they were maybe 5 years ago. Maybe they're popular with the younger demographics, but I think more so people now are using Facebook Messenger. They're using direct messaging on Twitter. They're using Instagram, etc. But social media is social media. And when one goes, another one pops up. So social media and text messaging have become an integral part of how individuals interact with their social groups. In fact, for many teenagers and young adults, text messaging and social media communication is now more likely than in-person interactions. Give me just a second here. I need to clear my throat. It's these allergies. Forgive me there. One of the worst allergy seasons in history. And I took my Flonase right before I went live, and everything is clearing up. All right, let's keep moving forward here. Let me see here. Tiffany M is in the house, and she says, is Tumblr even active anymore? Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't paid attention. I never really got into Tumblr, but I don't even know if they're active anymore. Probably not. Pablo says, Andrew Weinrich was the guy who created social media. It was on a platform called 6 Degrees, probably. Okay. Yeah, Tiffany says, Eli, are you familiar with NLP? Yeah, isn't that like neuro-linguistics programming? Let me double check that. NLP. Natural language processing. Oh, I was right. Yeah, it's neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah, a psychological approach that involves analyzing strategies used by successful individuals and applying them to reach a personal goal. Tiffany, a lot of my, content and teachings, they're based from personal experience, and they're pretty much in line with NLP, but I've never really gotten into NLP, just so you know. God, my allergies are really, really acting up tonight. They're really acting up. I hope I make it through this. All right. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, what's happened with teenagers and our youth, millennials and post-millennials, is they text over Hangout in person, and they have cyber relationships more so than in-person relationships. I'm not saying that millennials and post-millennials don't have real relationships, but a lot of them that are very insecure, and a lot of them that aren't able to or don't have the best social skills and are really shy and insecure, they'll text all day, every day. They'll do video chats. They'll do voice chats through these apps. Like men will do voice chats through these apps with other women, and then they will do other fun things that people typically do in person. So yeah, that's what's happened with social media and these apps. It's pretty sad, but true. The emergence of the constant checker. The technological and social media advances of the past decade have bred the constant checker. A constant checker is a person who constantly, almost obsessively checks their emails, texts, and social media accounts. This profile is synonymous with 43% of U.S. individuals. I used to be one of those. I'm not like that anymore. I will check email every few hours, not every few minutes. I will look at my phone every now and then in case there's an emergency. But I don't live and die by my phone. Like I have my phone up to the side here on my desk charger, and it's a wireless charger. I can see the screen every so often. I may glance at it to see if an emergency pops up, but I just don't feel the need to look at it, every single minute. So anyway, let's continue. Being continuously connected in this way has been linked with higher stress levels. Moreover, 18% of individuals have identified technology use as a significant source of stress. On an average day in the U.S., 65% of adults constantly check personal email, 52% and 44% check texts and social media, respectively, and 28% say the same about work email. So basically, there are people that are really addicted to their smartphone, and they're addicted to, checking emails and other aspects, right, that involve a digital device. Back in the days before smartphones, we had to, fire up our computer or laptop, log into Windows, and check things out. And we would do that maybe once or even twice a day. Most people would do it once a day, some people a few times a day, right? But now having, a mini computer in our pockets, a smartphone, device, it's always there. So it makes it way too easy to constantly check things. And that's not a healthy way to live your life. Let me see here. Let me check out the chat real quick. Tiffany says yes. Tiffany says yes, it is interesting. And furthermore, Tiffany says, Eli, blame feminists for most of these problems. Well, why do you blame the feminists for most of these problems? I'm just curious. I don't necessarily think that feminism is a bad thing. I think radical feminism is a bad thing. But feminism or feminists, every woman is a feminist, a product of feminism. You have equal rights because of feminism. I do remember pagers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember the pagers. We had basic cell phones and then pagers. And there were voicemail pagers even before cell phones got voicemail. And so they were good for a little while, but once cell phones started integrating more aspects, that killed the pager. Yeah. So, but again, yeah, feminism isn't really technically a bad thing. Radical feminism is. Those are women that take feminism a bit too far, more than it was, meant to be. And those are the types of women that seek out and get special privileges that men never got, ever. All right, let's continue here. Stress levels among constant checkers are considerably higher than they are among people who do not engage with technology and social media as frequently. Yeah, of course, because they're checking because they have nothing better to do. They're trying to fill the void in their life. And they're dependent on what happens on social media to fill that void, right? People that have a lot going on in their real lives don't even have the time to sometimes check their social media, you know, once per day. Give me a second here, folks. I got to check something real quick. Give me just a second, folks. All right. My apologies, folks. I had to take care of something. My apologies regarding that. Let's see here. Lily of the Valley, Eli is fire. What do you mean by that? Come here, Eli. Come where? He got distracted by his smartphone. No, it was actually an emergency situation, Tiffany. I had to take care of something. I know it was in the middle of the show, but I had to take care of something. It was requiring urgent attention. My apologies. That's a good example, though. It's a very good example. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that. Hey, babe, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Pablo says, this may be a hot take, but I think most stress and depression people get are from social media. Well, yeah, that's because they go onto social media to mask their real life pain of depression, loneliness, anxiety, right? So they're dependent on that to cure their blues rather than doing it the right way. You seek help. You go see a psychiatrist, you get medication, you look up to family for support and real life friends. And people are replacing all of that with social media nowadays. So that's why you have a lot of mentally and emotionally unstable people on social media. It's their escape. Whoops. I made a mistake here. Give me a second. The chat is moving pretty quickly here. Let me see. Okay. Oh, my bad. It was kind of relative. Yeah, no worries. It's all good. It's all good. All right. For example, 42% of constant checkers worry about the effect of social media on their physical and mental health, compared with 27% of non-constant checkers. Furthermore, as a result of technology, more constant checkers than non-constant checkers feel disconnected from their family, even when they are in the same room. And more than 1/3 of constant checkers say that they are unlikely to meet with friends and family in person due to social media. Well, that sucks. I have nothing more to add to that besides saying that sucks. Social media should have no effect, on hanging out with your family. Social media, talking with your family on social media is not a replacement for hanging out with them in person. That's absolutely ridiculous right there. Digital connectivity and well-being. While many people strongly agree that unplugging or taking a digital detox now and then is important for mental health, in reality, only 28% of those people periodically switch off from technology. Let me see here. Tiffany M says, everyone is playing pretend well into adulthood. Well, why do you think people are playing pretend well into adulthood? I don't play pretend. I think it's the people that have traumatic unresolved issues, Tiffany. People that are unhappy within themselves, which is what I'm trying to say. People that don't have a purpose or feel they have no purpose, right? So they have to pretend to be something they're not because they don't like who they really are, when they can actually change who they are and become a better person, become a better version of themselves, right? So anyway, across the generations, 48% of millennials, 37% of Gen Xers, 22% of boomers, and 15% of matures are worried about the negative effects of social media on their physical and mental health. What are matures? Was that the generation before the boomers? Because I don't even think any of them are still around. 15% of matures? Okay, I haven't heard of that. I got to look into that after the show. Okay. I used to not be concerned regarding negative effects of social media until I came out here on YouTube, and then people started to take my public information and make content out of it. So in order to stop that, I had to, put things to friends only and stop posting certain things I used to post. So, yeah, I mean, especially if you're a public figure, like on a platform like YouTube, right? Or Twitch, or, any other platform, where, there are lots of large public figures, people will look into you, and because of their jealousy, they try to, dissect every aspect of your life and use you to make content out of you instead of making content, original content within themselves. It's pretty sad, but that happens all the time. So you gotta, protect yourself more so regarding that nowadays. Interactions on social media can have a major impact on an individual's well-being and satisfaction. Many studies have observed that more time spent on social media is associated with an increased risk of loneliness and depression, which poses the question, are unhappy people using social media, or does social media use affect happiness? Yeah, like I've been saying this, all throughout this blog. Many studies have observed that more time spent on social media is associated with an increased risk of loneliness and depression. That's what it is. These people are lonely. They're depressed. Okay. A lot of them don't work or aren't happy at work. There are a lot of people in this situation that are looking at social media as the cure-all or as the mask of their pain, their depression, their anxiety, their loneliness, right? And what they will do is they will find people like me, and there are many people like me that are very happy and create real content, and they'll attack us because it makes themselves feel better. It's the bottom line. Well said here. Okay. Which poses the question, are unhappy people using social media, or does social media use affect happiness? No, it's a combination of both. I think what I've seen more from my experiences involves unhappy people using social media. The people I've dealt with are just angry and bitter and lonely and depressed people with anxiety, etc., right? And a lot of these people have attacked me because I'm very happy and I love myself, I love my family, I love my life, and I'm a positive person. But yeah, social media use can also affect happiness. If you're a happy person and you're, consumed with it and you're obsessed with it, it can affect other aspects of your life. It can affect your marriage or relationship. It can affect, hanging out with your family and friends. It can consume you. Just don't let it consume you. You have to find a balance. And I'll share more about that as the show goes on. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Tiffany says, due to social media, exactly. Furthermore, Tiffany says, Eli, you seem to have a lot of thirsty ladies in your chat, not counting your girlfriend, obviously. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tiffany. I really don't know what you're talking about, but I don't notice any of that, so not a big deal. Let's see. Snow Crown Media says it has made being a startup business much easier, or it has made being a startup business much easier, but there are downsides. Okay, fair enough. Tiffany says, preach, I feel you there. Trust no one. It's an escape room, says Tiffany. I agree with you there. Tiffany says, to be able to destroy with good conscience, to be able to behave badly and call your bad behavior righteous indignation, this is the height of psychological luxury, the most delicious and moral treats. All right, well said. Babe, you retracted your message. Babe, I want you to know that after the show, let's talk briefly before you turn in. Okay. I'm sure you want to talk briefly so we can plan our day for tomorrow. All right. Happiness. A recent study led by researchers at Indiana University explored the so-called friendship paradox experienced by users of social media. The friendship paradox finds that on average, most people are less popular than their friends on social media, which may lead to reduced happiness. Yeah, people make it a competition out there. Oh, I have more followers than you. You have more followers than me. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I've never judged a book by its cover. Judging someone by the number of followers they have is no different than judging a book by its cover. I'm not going to say any more than that. That speaks for itself. So, just because you don't have the hugest amount of followers doesn't mean you aren't a good content creator on the internet. That's hogwash. And when people get big numbers, they let it get to their head. And the reason why some people get big numbers, especially cute women, it's because you're cute and the thirsty beta males are all following you because they think they can get a piece of your you-know-what. So, a lot of people that have large followings really didn't earn them the right way in the first place. That's the truth of the matter. So don't let it get to your head. Okay? As far as we're aware, it has never been previously shown that social media users are not only less popular than their friends on average, but also less happy, said lead study author John Boland, associate professor in the Indiana University School of Informatics and Computing. This study suggests that happiness is correlated with popularity, and also that the majority of people on social networks aren't as happy as their friends due to this correlation between friendship and popularity. Yeah, you know what? Never base your friendships on popularity. Base your friendships on, how big of a heart and soul the people you hang out with have. I mean, this is ridiculous. Nowadays, we base our friendships off of who's the most popular on social media. Why? Because if we befriend them, they might give us a shout out and we might grow because of that. Even if they give you a shout out and you grow based on their fake popularity, what's that going to do for you? The people are following, your friend for other reasons than what you need, right? So you're not targeting the right audience there. People don't understand. Everybody has something different to offer, and not everyone is a fit, or not every creator is a fit for every person. People have different wants and needs. That's the bottom line. This study suggests that happiness is correlated with popularity. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Overall, the research found that users of social media might experience increased levels of social dissatisfaction and unhappiness as a result of comparing their happiness and popularity to that of their friends. Happy social media users may think their friends are more popular and slightly happier than they are, and unhappy social media users will likely have unhappy friends who still seem happier and more popular than they are on average, Professor Boland explained. Give me just 1 second, folks. I need to take care of something real quick here. Just give me 1 second. All right. Next one, isolation. I have nothing more to add to happiness. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Let's see. Hey, babe. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, babe. But, how about just don't worry about it? Don't worry about it. We'll talk after the show. It's not a big deal. You see me getting upset, babe? I'm cool, calm, and collected. It's not a big deal. Tiffany says that's a quote from Aldous. Hang on a second. That's a quote from Aldous Huxley. Okay, I'm not sure who Aldous Huxley is. Maybe you can explain in the chat. Pablo says a big number does not matter. Look at the most subscribed channels on YouTube. I would rather watch an independent channel instead. Well, thank you for that, Pablo, and I appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Snow Crown Media, I find smaller followers in the chat makes it more personal, and there's more interaction. Tiffany says, Eli, what do you think about the Georgia Guidestones? That's the first I've heard of that. What is that? I can Oh, there was an explosion that destroyed them. Yeah, this is the first I've heard of it. This is the first I've heard of it. I'll be honest with you. I've been very picky and choosy with my news lately. I haven't been following a lot. I've been very busy. I did hear about Elon Musk backing out of the $44 billion, Twitter deal earlier today, and I explained my thoughts about that on my walking stream, at the beginning of my walking stream earlier today on my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. But yeah, I'll look into that, and I'll share my thoughts on my next show. But yeah, sounds like there was an explosion. That's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Some psychopath probably, did that because they're unhappy and miserable within themselves. Let's see here. Snow Crown Media. I will say I'm not getting that here as of yet. Is this the norm? What are you talking about, Snow Crown Media? Can you, what are you actually talking about? Can you be more specific? Tiffany M says, Snow Crown, you have to be patient. Snow Crown Media, Tiffany M, thanks. It's my first time here. He is focused on his topic. Yeah, listen, Snow Crown Media, I'm not a drama channel. I am a channel that does personal development. I do business and personal success coaching. Sometimes I'll just talk off the top of my head based on personal experiences. Other times I'll go over a well-written blog and put my spin on it based on my personal experiences. So, I don't answer every chat question in the chat. I do the best I can. So I don't know what channels you're used to dealing with. But most channels, are not going to be able to engage 100% with the chat. California Ford Outdoors, excellent topic of the night. Well, thank you. How are you doing, California Ford Outdoors? Welcome. Tiffany M., English writer and philosopher. Oh, okay. Thank you. That Aldous guy you mentioned earlier, right? Aldous Huxley. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Tiffany says, yup, I'd be interested on your take on that. They knocked the whole thing down now. Yeah, it was probably some lunatic. It was probably some dude. That did it. I will look into it and share my spin on that the next time I go live. Might not be till after the weekend, after this show. But thanks for making me aware of that. Isolation. The amount of time spent on social media could also affect mental health. National analysis led by scientists at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, Pitt, in Pennsylvania, suggests that the more time that adults age 19 to 32 spend using social media, the more likely they are to be socially isolated. I could not agree anymore. Big round of applause for the blog author there. Well said. But there's a reason why they spend that amount of time on social media in the first place. It's because they're already in that depressed and lonely state. So they come out to social media to cure the blues of depression, and loneliness. And then they get addicted to it to the point of where they never hang out with people in person anymore. Yeah, it's a sad vicious cycle caused by the digital world. I can help people that are in that situation overcome it. This is an important issue to study because mental health problems and social isolation are at epidemic levels among young adults. That's because of social media. No kidding, right? Said Brian A. Primack, PhD, the director of Pitt's Center for Research on Media, Technology, and Health. We are inherently social creatures, but modern life tends to compartmentalize us instead of bringing us together. While it may seem that social media presents opportunities to fill that social void, I think this study suggests that it may not be the solution people were hoping for. Well, where would they have found the solution if it wasn't for social media? These people were, like I said, the people that abuse social media or dependent on social media or spend too much time on social media are doing it because they're depressed and lonely. But what were they doing to address their depression and loneliness issues before that? I'm sure their family members suggested them to go see a therapist, but they probably said no, right? There's medication and therapy that can handle this. And instead of, people doing that nowadays, they go to social media and then they project their insecurities. I've encountered so many of these types of people. And to be honest with you, I can't even help these types of people. You know why? Because you have to be able to participate in your own rescue. And these people are not willing to participate in their own rescue. So you can't help anyone that's not open to help. Bottom line. That's the bottom line. And speaking of depression, that's coming up next. But let me see what's going on in the chat right now. Snow Crown Media, I was talking about interaction. Yeah, well, my channel's been up and down, bro. And I'm sure you probably found out about me through some other people that I used to be involved with. I initially got involved with the wrong target audience out here on YouTube. So, I removed that audience and I get trolled pretty badly. Obviously, you can see it in the chat. And I've been starting over. So that's what's happening. But if you enjoy the content, bro, if you're getting value here, and if there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know, bro. It doesn't matter if there are 5 people here. It doesn't matter if there's hardly any. It doesn't matter if there's hardly any interaction, which is what I'm trying to say. If you need some help or want to talk it up, ask me something. I'd be happy to address it, man. So, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. But curious about why you think someone would do that. Why would somebody do any destructive damage? Because they have mental and emotional issues. Bottom line. They are mentally and emotionally unstable. They don't love themselves. They have a lot of unresolved trauma. Why did the young 18-year-old man shoot at people at the school in Uvalde, Texas? Same reason. It's the same thing, right? Tiffany M has a bunch of party favors all over the place. In the chat, California Ford Outdoors says, Coach Eli, doing well. Thanks for asking. Well, you're quite welcome. Thank you for being here. Tiffany M, Eli, great talk, but listening, all of this is making me want to log off, honestly. See you next time. Have a good one, everyone. No problem, Tiffany. Have a good one. It is okay to say no to people. Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by, Tiffany. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend, too. Let me see. Where are we at? We're at 44 minutes. I'm going to be taking a break real soon. I'm going to see how far down I am after depression. Depression, in another study conducted by Pitt School of Medicine, it was also found that spending extended periods on social media is associated with depression in young adults. Compared with people who checked social media less frequently, frequent checkers were 2.7 times more likely to develop depression. More than a quarter of study participants were classified as having high indicators of depression. Yeah, that makes sense. If you're lonely and depressed, you're going to do whatever it takes to get rid of that shit feeling, right? And people come to social media. Why? Because they feel there's less chance of being rejected. And if they get rejected, it's somebody digitally, right? And there are a lot of people there, and you don't have to show your face. You can also create a fake account. I mean, there's a lot of anonymity on social media unless you want to put yourself out there, with your real name and your face. Likewise, wait, did I get that right? More than a quarter of study participants were classified as having high indicators of depression. Okay, I think I read that. Likewise, settling in for a marathon binge-watching session of your favorite television show has been related to fatigue, obesity, loneliness, and depression. Yeah, because you're isolating yourself. When you isolate yourself from the real world, you're going to feel fatigue. You're going to gain weight because you're going to be sitting on the couch binge-watching TV and eating fatty foods to cure your loneliness, to attempt to cure your loneliness and depression, right? I had periods in my life where I felt this way, and that was in my preteens and early teenage years. And I had gained a little bit of weight, and then I lost it, So I get it. I understand how this affects people and why people feel this way, but you can do something about it. You can turn it around. You just have to, be ready for it and then reach out to someone like me or go see a therapist or go to someone that can help you, that can help by teaching you to love yourself. One of the biggest issues nowadays is these people just don't love themselves. And that's one of the main things I do here. Because you cannot accomplish anything in life until you love who you are and you know who you are. However, research published in Cyber Psychology, Behavior, and Social Networking says that you do not have to quit social media altogether. Simply changing your behavior on social networking sites and taking an occasional break may help to lift your spirits. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Just take a break every now and then, right? Or get on a schedule, check it once or twice per day. The problem is we have apps now on our phones that connect to all these social sites, and they're sending us constant notifications. And when we get a notification, we tend to want to check on it, right? I used to be like that. Now, over the last year or so, I'll look at my phone, I'll see some notifications pop up, and unless it's something really important, I'm just not going to respond to it, or I'll respond to it later or the next day or never. It just depends. It depends how important it is. A lot of things on social media are a waste of time. They're basically people like these people we're talking about here. They're depressed and they are, they have anxiety, depression, and they're lonely. And they're trying to suck the life out of you because they have no life within them, because they're choosing to live their life that way. Don't let these people suck the life out of you, okay? So I prioritize who I get back to on social media and who I don't. I used to not be that way. I used to get back to everyone, and it wasted a lot of my time and drained me. Don't let people waste your time and drain you. Pick and choose who you respond to, and respond to people that are worthy of your time, okay? Confirming previous research, this study found that lurking on Facebook may cause negative emotions. However, on the bright side, as previous studies have shown, actively connecting with close friends, whether in real life or on Facebook, may actually increase one's sense of well-being, said Brenda K. Wiederhold, PhD of the Interactive Media Institute in San Diego, California, and Virtual Reality Medical Institute in Brussels, Belgium. Facebook's not a bad platform, okay? As long as you have real friends and family members out there, and, you keep in touch, through social media in between the times where you don't see each other in person, that's no problem. But if you're using social media as a replacement for seeing family, that's wrong. Social media was created, and especially Facebook was created to keep in touch with family, friends, and maybe some other business contacts in between the times where you can't hang out with them in person, okay? Again, it's not a replacement. It's an add-on. Because we all have our individual lives as family members, right? And we may get together on the holidays or once per month or once every few months. But in between those times, when we don't see each other because we have our own lives within our part of the family, right? Facebook's a great way to share pictures and other things, right? Just be careful, with who you share things with. Maybe keep your privacy settings to friends only. But if you're going to put things out publicly, just know the whole world's going to see it, and you never know what can happen. But yeah, friends only is typically a safe way to share things on social media sites like Facebook. And just pick and choose your friends wisely, because anyone you accept a friend request from will have access to your friends only content. So you might as well consider it public, even though it's friends only. And again, I wouldn't even put anything out to friends only or private on Facebook that I'd be afraid going public. That's the best way to look at it. All right, let's check out the chat here real quick. All right, we are at 51 minutes. Let me see how far we've gotten on this blog here. Let's see. Oh, we're good. We're good. We are so good. When we get back from break, we have about maybe 30 to 35 minutes worth of content. Okay, we're getting through this in a decent amount of time, in a relatively quick amount of time. All right, folks. I'm going to queue up some royalty-free YouTube music and step away for a break. So give me just a second here. Got a couple of them. Need just a couple more. First three tracks are from the YouTube audio library group. You see what I'm trying to say? Vibe tracks. And just need one more. One more. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for an 8 or 9 minute break. And when we return, let me get back to full screen. When we return, we will conclude the final part of the blog. Today, we've been discussing how the modern world affects our physical and mental health. So stick around. Stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah. You like the purple shirt tonight, baby? Yeah. I love this song. From the YouTube audio library, it is Lay It Down by Silent Partner. And I'm here to lay it down so you can all feel better about yourselves. Let's do it. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Yeah. Woo. Bow now, 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 bow now, bow. Yeah. My God. Woo. I feel real good tonight. I'll tell you that. So let's get right back to it. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Live here on YouTube, live on Coach Eli 2. Coach Eli 2 uncensored live streams, the future home of most, if not all, of my live streams. This channel continues to creep closer to being monetized each and every day. And once that happens, I will be moving my Walking with Purpose live streams over to this channel here from my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas. And then on my main channel, myself and my beautiful, wonderful, amazing lady are going to be focusing more on some very high quality, bite-sized, pre-recorded content in the highest quality 4K at 60 frames per second. We're also going to be doing some more YouTube shorts, TikTok style videos, vertical videos that are a minute or less in length with some great tidbits to help you get through your days. And last but not least, we're also going to be adding some exclusive members only content. So you're not going to want to miss that. You're going to want to stick around. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Subscribe to this channel here and also subscribe to Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Nightbot's been sharing the link to my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, every 7 minutes, or just go to youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. That's youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. Make sure you subscribe, and then you tap the bell, you bang the bell, and then after you bang the bell, you need to hit all so you can get all notifications, because if not, you might only get an occasional notification and you might miss something. And it's more important now because I've not been scheduling my live streams. I've been going live during random parts of the day, and that way you'll be able to join me live and you get the notification, or if not, you can catch the replay. One more thing before we get right back to it. Since this channel is not yet monetized, if you would like to make a donation to support this channel, you can make a donation in any amount based on the value you feel you are receiving via PayPal or Cash App. Nightbot is sharing my PayPal and Cash App links every 7 minutes in the chat. On PayPal, you can go to paypal.me/Coach Eli, or on Cash App, you can go to $The Real Coach Eli. And as always, donations are greatly appreciated, but they are not required. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back. Let's just get right back to it. First, tonight we've been discussing how the modern world affects our physical and mental health. One more time, how the modern world affects our physical and mental health. Let's switch on back over to the browser screen and continue. Children and familial digital connections. One more time. Children and familial digital connections. Parents often struggle to balance familial and digital connections, and they can face a constant battle trying to limit their child's screen time. Well, if you try to do that by putting parental locks on them, they're just going to bypass that through a friend's internet connection or some other way, shape, or form. So honestly, these parental locks are a bunch of garbage, in my opinion. I think the best way to handle it is to sit down with your kids and tell them that you love them and say, hey, look, I understand it's a modern digital world. I understand you really enjoy this, but, let's try to do at least a few more things offline with our family and friends than just, being on the smartphone, tablet, or computer all day, right? And if you approach your children in a respectful way and you show them real love in real life, they're going to be more prone to accept that. I think the problem nowadays is that parents are using these digital devices to keep their kids occupied while the parents do their own thing. And honestly, that's not the right way to do it, okay? As parents, you got to be there for your kids. You got to put your kids first, okay? So I think this is more so the fault of the parents using these devices to keep their kids occupied while they get some time to rest and do other things, like a husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, right? The importance of parental technological monitoring is only heightened by evidence such as the link between handled screen time and speech delays in young children. The connection between mobile device addiction and depression and anxiety in college-age students, and the association between exposure to smartphone screens and lower sleep quality. On the iPhone, and I'm sure the Android does this too, on the iPhone, it shows you screen time. And I remember when I first got my latest iPhone, I've had a few iPhones. I've had the iPhone 4S, the iPhone 6 Plus, and now the iPhone 12 Pro Max I got about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And when I first got my iPhone 12 Pro Max, because it was way quicker than my older one. They've added more memory to it, and it's just more responsive and it's more capable. I was addicted to it because I just love technology, right? And my screen time was 12 to 14 hours per day. Wow, that's a lot, right? And now my screen time has been cut to like 6 to 8 hours per day, and even less in most cases, right? And, what counts as screen time, sometimes I don't turn my lock screen off while my phone is charging. I just leave my screen on and it shows notifications while I'm working, and that counts as screen time. So technically my screen time is probably, I'll be honest with you, it's probably less than 2 hours or less than an hour and a half each and every day. So yeah, it can be very, very addicting. And, it's harder for kids to put these devices down because they're born with them nowadays, and they feel like their mind is constantly stimulated. But if you as parents stimulate their mind and create engaging situations with the family and with your kids' friends, they're going to be more prone to put the phone down during those times. So I think this more so needs to be tackled head on by the parents of the kids. Bottom line. Let me check out the chat here real quick. However, where are we here? However, screen time for kids is not all bad. Research examining more than 120,000 adolescents found that evidence linking the relationship between screen time and well-being is weak at best, even at the highest levels of engagement. The findings, published in Psychological Science, suggest that moderate screen use has no effect on the well-being of teenagers. Yeah, no, I mean, look, if you use your smartphones and smart devices, mobile devices and computers, in moderation, that's no problem. I use mine in moderation every day. I more so prefer my laptop. That's why I spent like $3,300, a little over a year ago, and I got a really nice laptop with a 15.6 inch, 16 by 10 ratio 4K monitor. And my lady, loves it too. Like when my lady comes over, and we're dealing with our finances and other stuff, we log into my laptop instead of using the apps on the phone or the web browser on the phone because it's just much easier to use. So, using the internet or these smart devices or computers within moderation, that's normal. But after that, find some time to do things in real life, because that's what the purpose of these devices were created for. They were created to better connect us so that way we can make appointments and dates, and hang out with friends and family easier. We can communicate with them easier to arrange in-person meetings. But now those meetings are happening through FaceTime, other video chat programs, texting, and all that. And that's not healthy. You got to take things into real life, folks. And when I say take things into real life, I mean, you got to hang out with your friends and family and people you talk with on the internet that you consider are friends. You gotta hang out with them in real life, or it's just not real. That's the bottom line. What is more, a study published in Psychiatric Quarterly found only a small association between excessive screen time and levels of teenage depression and delinquency. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the person. Some people, can be on their phone all day, every day and still not be depressed and, not have anxiety. But that's just, that's not the norm. That's rare. Typically, people spend more time online to cure depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Bottom line. Screens of various sorts are increasingly embedded into daily life, whether they involve education, work, socialization, or personal organization, explains study leader Professor Christopher Ferguson of Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. Setting narrow limits on screen time may not keep up with the myriad ways in which screens have become essential to modern life. Well, I think setting, limits on screen time, I wouldn't say narrow limits, but setting limits for yourself personally and giving yourself a good balance between the online and offline world is the healthiest approach. Balance it out. No one's saying to not use it, but just balance it out. Don't be addicted to it, because then it overtakes your reality, right? Don't let the online world, the smart devices, overtake reality. And many people are letting these devices do that. With the ever-increasing popularity of health apps on smartphones, depression, stress, worry, and a lack of sleep can all begin to be tackled in the same amount of time as it takes to locate a good restaurant. Well, that is true, but these apps, are not a replacement for a therapist or a life coach or something like that. There is no better way of handling situations and overcoming depression, anxiety, and loneliness than talking to a real life human being, whether it's on the phone or whether it's in person. Come on. Millions of people experience psychological distress and fail to pursue or receive help from mental health services. I'm just saying that in different words. Given this disparity between need and accessibility of services, smartphone apps could help to provide affordable and engaging treatment strategies. Yeah, there are some psychiatrists out there that run their business through an app. Do I think it's ridiculous? Yes, because part of, the solution is getting these kids and people away from social media and interacting with people in person. And as a psychiatrist or psychologist, if you're, running your business through an app instead of in person, right? Aren't you more so feeding into the wrong of what's already happening? I mean, seriously, right? Right? People need to get out of their house, get off the computer, get off the smart device, smartphone, tablet, right? And get some help and go see a therapist in their office. It gives you something to do, and you get to have that human touch, that human interaction. Wow. Video gaming and aggression. We'll get to that in just a second here. Let me see here. Pablo says, my main question may be is what are most of the kids watching and getting onto? They're watching true crime. They're watching shows that are filled with drama. they're watching shows, in my opinion, Pablo, that they relate to. Like attracts like. When people are depressed and lonely and have anxiety, like attracts like. These people tend to flock together because they seem to think that's the solution to curing their depression, anxiety, and loneliness. The problem is, it makes it worse. If you have issues and you're looking to solve those issues and overcome those issues, why are you going to hang around with people that have the same issues? That's not going to fix the issue. In order to fix the issue, you got to hang around with people that are in a better place than you. But the problem is, these people that are in those positions, they look at people like me and they wish they could be like me, and they're jealous of me. So instead of coming to me for help where I can help them, they project their insecurities on me, and then I want nothing to do with them because they're wasting my time, right? They're just not ready for the help. And until they're ready for the help, and until they're ready to participate in their own rescue, no one, including myself, can help them. But great question, Pablo. Thanks for asking. Video gaming and aggression. Video gaming is another area that has gained a bad reputation, with some research suggesting a link between video games and violence. It's true. It's true. There's a lot of violence in video games. And these young kids, especially the guys, okay, that have not matured yet and haven't become emotionally stable yet, when these guys see these things in video games and they haven't matured yet, they're more prone to replicate what they see in those video games when things don't go their way in real life. And that's happened many, many, many times. Quite frankly, I feel they should ban those video games that are violent. But hey, that's just me. That's just me, right? However, a study published in the Journal of Communication found no such link between aggression observed in movies and video games and real-life violence. Well, that's a bunch of crap. Whoever did that study, in my opinion, didn't do their research or hasn't seen the reality of it. The reality of it is, yes, these kids replicate that behavior when things go wrong. That made absolutely no sense to me. I disagree with that last paragraph. Society has a limited amount of resources and attention to devote to the problem of reducing crime, said Professor Ferguson. There is a risk that identifying the wrong problems, such as media violence, may distract society from more pressing concerns such as poverty, education, and vocational disparities, and mental health. Wow. Interesting. I have nothing more to add to that. I'll just say interesting. John Hopkins, Bloomberg School of Public Health in Baltimore, Maryland, has found that while 4 hours of video game play may trigger symptoms of depression in teenagers, 4 hours of video game play? I could think of a million other things to do rather than play video games in a 4-hour time span. So, has found that while 4 hours of video game play may trigger symptoms of depression in teenagers, frequent use of social media and instant messaging may mitigate these symptoms in some individuals. Everybody is different. Everybody handles things differently, but the majority are spending too much time playing video games or on social media as an attempt to mask their depression, their anxiety, and their loneliness, and cure their loneliness. That's what it's all about. I remember being younger and feeling this way myself. So I get it. I understand it. Let me see here. While playing video games for 4 hours a day can be worrisome behavior, not everyone who does so is at risk of developing symptoms of addiction or depression, said study leader Michelle Calder-Carras, PhD, a postdoctoral researcher in the Department of Mental Health at the Bloomberg School. So some of these guys and gals become good gamers. They go on to platforms like Twitch and YouTube, and they make a lot of money playing games and entertaining the audience. In that case, if it's a business and you're making money doing it and you're creating a following doing it, no problem, right? But if you're doing it, just to cure the blues in lieu of hanging out with friends and family members, then there's something wrong there. As a business, different story. If these adolescents are sitting around playing games together with their friends or chatting regularly with their friends online as they play, this could be part of a perfectly normal developmental pattern. We shouldn't assume all of them have a problem. No one's assuming they all have a problem. I'm just looking at how it's affected the majority. I've been on social media since it came out, and I've seen all this stuff happen regularly, right? So I don't know the experience the blog author has or how much time they've spent on social media. But I've been on YouTube for 5.5 years. And during the past 5.5 years, I've seen it all on every platform. Because even if it happens somewhere else, people talk about it on YouTube. That's what happens. Despite the potential risks. Sorry, did I miss a part? Oh, I did read that. Despite the potential risks to mental health, trends over the past decade show that use of technology and social media is increasing, so these problems are not likely to disappear anytime soon, with habits unlikely to change. And that's what the social media companies want, because the more we're on there, the more ads we see, the more money they make, right? Furthermore, as connectivity continues to weave its way through every aspect of our work, home, and social lives, the answer may not lie in reducing our time using these channels or being able to disconnect at the flick of a switch, especially since internet withdrawal has been linked with increased heart rate and blood pressure. So internet withdrawal has now been linked with increased heart rate and blood pressure. Oh my God, I got to see what's happening online. I got to check with my friends online. I got to get on the YouTube and do this. I got to get onto Twitch and do this. I got to get onto Twitter and do this, Facebook and do this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Folks, we're about to go off the air. We're going to be wrapping this up. We're at the final 2 paragraphs. So get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air in just a few minutes here. Information Man Show, peace to you as well, brother. How you doing, bro? We're about to go off the air. Thank you so much for stopping by here today. A study of 12 million Facebook users found that using the social media site is associated with living longer. However, this correlation only exists when Facebook serves to maintain and enhance our social ties in real life. Don't forget, they're there to make money too. Okay, and the longer they keep you on the platform, same with YouTube, the more money the platform makes. And these platforms are doing things and everything they can to keep you on the platform longer. Keep that in mind. Wow. Oh, man. We are at 1 hour and 25 minutes. Hey, not bad. Got through this fairly quickly tonight. Last paragraph. Modern life may increase the risk of some physical and mental problems, but striking a balance between online and real-world social relationships going forward may help to keep our mental health in check. Folks, everything in life involves balancing it out, okay? You know, just like earlier I talked about on my Walking with Purpose stream on my other channel. Check it out if you missed it, okay? In moderation, coffee and energy drinks, no problem. In anything in moderation, no problem. Even a glass of wine or beer every now and then doesn't make you an alcoholic. Anything in moderation is fine. Okay? If you can balance everything out in your life, the internet, smartphones, your work, your personal life, your family, etc., trust me, you'll have a lot less stress. You'll have a lot less anxiety. You'll have a lot less depression. You probably won't have any depression or anxiety, and you're going to feel real good. And trust me, when you get to the state or the stage of where I'm at, where I've got no drama in my life, I eliminated all drama, I have no stress, no depression, no anxiety, none of that, the sky's the limit. You're going to have boundless energy to more so do the things you enjoy doing the most. Okay? And that's what life is all about, doing the things you enjoy the most, okay? And being on your smartphone all day is not a fun thing to do. Going out hiking, going and exploring this world, going out, to a nice restaurant or, hanging out with your friends, in a pub or a restaurant or wherever. That's what life was meant to be. Life was not meant to be on a damn smartphone sitting on your couch all night long and all day long. Anyway, that's where we're going to wrap things up here tonight at 1 hour and 28 minutes. We're going to go back to full screen. Thank you, says Information Man Show. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Information Man Show, thank you. Pablo, thank you for being here as well. Thank you to my lady, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, for being here earlier. And thank you to Tiffany M for being here. And California Ford Outdoors was here. I can't even talk. California Ford Outdoors was here. Thank you for being here. And Snow Crown Media, thank you for being here. And anyone else that I missed that was watching behind the scenes. With that being said, have yourselves a great one. See you all next time. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.